المجرورات من الأسماء, the positions of the asma that are majroor. And there are just three positions that a word would be, al-ism would become majroor. And remember, al-jarru is exclusively for al-asma. Al-af'al لا تكون مجرورة. الأفعال الماضية are مبنية. أفعال الأمر are مبنية. الأفعال المضارعة can be مرفوع, منصوب, or مجزوم, but never مجرور. Whereas the asma can be مرفوع, or sorry, first of all مبني, or مرفوع, or منصوب, or مجرور, but never مجزوم. So the asma are never مجزومة, but they are مجرورة. والاسم قد خصص بالجر كما قد خصص الفعل بأن ينجزم. المجرور بحرف الجر, بالحرف, that the word that has become مجرور because of حرف الجر. For example, Bismillah. Wow, the word, the phrase, the sentence Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim has all three examples, so I use it all three times. It's pretty clever. Excuse me. So what is majroor by harf jar? For example, harf jar ba. So the way we do analysis of Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, why don't we do it? Yeah, let's do the analysis, grammatical analysis of Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, and it would entail all three of them. So let's start Bismillah. So ba, we say ba harfu jarrin mabniyun ala al-kasra. So harfu jarrin mabni, it doesn't change. Then we say the word ism is mudaf. ولفظ الجلالة مضاف إليه مجرور وعلامة الجر الكسرة. So that's here المجرور بالإضافة. So the word Allah in Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim is majroor, but it's majroor because of idafa. The word ism, we say, is majroor, excuse me, majroor بحرف جر ba, b. So now we have ism is majroor, but it's majroor because of harf jar ba. The word Allah is majroor, but it's majroor because of al-idafa to ism. So even though ism is majroor and the word Allah is majroor, they are majroor for different reasons. The first one is majroor because of harf jar, which is the first rule. The next one is majroor because of al-idafa. Both the jar and the majroor. So we'll say this now, ba harfu jarrin اسم الله مجرور والجار والمجرور متعلقان بمحذوف تقديره إما أن تكون جملة اسمية أو جملة فعلية. So there are two schools concerning the تقدير for بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم, actually for جار المجرور مطلقا. So there's the two schools are the كوفيون and the بصريون. So one of them say that you do taqdir of al-mubtada wal-khabar. So you say ibtida'i ka'inun bismillah. My beginning or my qira'ah, my recitation or my eating or my drinking or my sleeping or my cooking or my walking or my waking or my entering, whatever the action that you're doing comes about or is blessed by or is possible because of the name of Allah. That is one interpretation. So you do taqdir of mubtada and khabar, and then we say the jar and majroor متعلقان بخبر محذوف تقديره كائن. So it's as if we say, let's use قراءة. Imagine we're saying I'm reading Quran, وقراءتي قراءتي قراءتي ممكنة أو كائنة أو مباركة فيها أو مسموح لها. Let's use كائنة. كائنة. Actually, this hamza is written like that. K-E, and this one is written underline. Yeah. So the taqdir is qira'ati, which will be the mubtada. My recitation, ka'inatun, comes about. It's possible. And you can use many different taqdir for the khabar. But the way we would do the analysis now is say qira'ati mubtada'un. Uh, this is technical here. So we'll say this, let me write in the vowel. I'll write in the vowel. But I teach you guys these technicality because they're so subtle, most people really don't know them. So we'll say قراءتي مضاف مضاف إليه. So we say قراءة is مضاف and يا ضمير المتكلم is مضاف إليه مبني على سكون في محل الجر. Check this out now. قراءتي we say مرفوع وعلامة الرفع الضمة على التاء. Say, Sheikh, there's no dhamma on the ta. There's a kasra in the ta. I say, yeah, منع من ظهوره اشتغال المحل بالكسرة لتناسب الياء الساكنة. So this ta here actually has a dhamma. But we can't see the dhamma because the place is occupied by a kasra to suit the ya as-sakina. So it's originally qira'atwi. Qira'atwi would be the original form of my recitation. But of course, pronouncing a ya sakina preceded by a dhamma is harder. So therefore, we put a kasra in the place. So this kasra here, we'll call it kasratun aridatun لموافقة الياء الساكنة to suit this ya with sukun. But it's really a dhamma. So the way we analyze this is we would say قراءتي مرفوع وعلامة الرفع الضمة على التاء منع من ظهوره اشتغال المحل بالكسرة لتناسب الياء الساكنة والياء الساكنة مضاف إليه مبني على السكون في محل الجر. So this is مضاف إليه قراءتي. My recitation. كائنة خبر مرفوع وعلامة الرفع ضمة على آخره. بسم الله جار ومجرور والجار والمجرور متعلقان بالخبر المحذوف. So this is one analysis. So you can do تقدير of المبتدا والخبر, both المبتدا والخبر. So this is very interesting when we say بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم, both the mubtada and the khabar are missing and you have to do taqdir. Why is that the case? It's because you can fill in any mubtada and any khabar that is needed. So this here is divine wisdom in not mentioning the mubtada and khabar because Bismillah is suitable for all circumstances, all situations. Anything we think of, anything we say, anything we do, anything possible are all possible because of the name of Allah. Which name of Allah? Ar-Rahman and Ar-Rahim. It's because of the mercy of Allah that everything becomes possible. Anyway, that's one analysis. The other analysis, which is easier and much more popular, by the way, is you, instead of saying قراءتي كائنة, you say أقرأ. أقرأ. So you say I read or I recite. أقرأ بسم الله. This is different from understanding أقرأ بذكر اسم الله. This is different from understanding that I read by mentioning the name of Allah. No, this is saying that I'm able to read. Reading is possible for me. يعني نسبة القراءة إلي في الحدوث أو نسبة حدوث القراءة إلي is possible only because of the name of Allah, Ar-Rahman, because of the attribute of Ar-Rahmah from Allah. Had it not been for the Rahmah of Allah, I would not be able to read. I would not be able to write or sleep or whatever it is or drink. That's one of the meaning of Bismillah, by the way, and there's many, many more implications, meaning that it's by the blessing of Allah. Excuse me, or I do it invoking the blessing of Allah. Aqra'u bismillah, meaning I want the blessing of Allah. I want Allah to enable me. I want Allah to make it easy for me, or I am invoking that Allah make it easy for me, or bless me in it, or guide me in it. There's so many things. So that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't mention the muta'allaq for the ba, for harfu jarrin ba, and love the majroor ismullah. So both are possible. Anyway, coming back to our lesson now, is that coming back to our lesson is that the word ism is majroor by harfu jar. The word Allah is majroor because of al-idafa. And now the third reason for a word being majroor is to be tabi' for a word that's majroor. And this is one example here. Actually, excuse me, two examples. The word ar-Rahman is badal for lafz al-jalala. Some people say sifa, but that's a mistake. And by the way, it's extremely popular even amongst the mufassirin. And many of the other mufassirin will shred it apart. And I will explain the reason why saying sifa is not acceptable here. So we say Bismillahi, but we can take the word Allah and remove it and say Bismir Rahman, and it means the same thing. That's what badal means. Badal mean you can substitute it. So it's like Allah is saying, I read or I begin or I do whatever I do by mentioning the name of Allah or with the name of Allah or because the name of Allah. And Allah is telling us who Allah is by saying He's Ar-Rahman. It's badal. And He is Ar-Rahim, which is badal for the word Allah also. So you can say Bismillahi, Bismir Rahman, Bismir Rahim. If you were to say any of those, linguistically it would be correct. Of course, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala taught us to combine all three in the one phrase and say Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahimi, but Ar-Rahman is badal. Why is it not sifa? Because sifa cannot take the place of the mawsuf. You cannot take the sifa and replace the mawsuf with it. So if I were to say, Ja'a ar-rajulu at-tawilu, the tall man came. If I were to say to you, Ja'a at-tawilu, the tall came, unless you knew what I'm talking about, it wouldn't make sense. The tall what? Huh? The tall what came. So tall is an adjective. The adjective never takes the place of the noun. The adjective actually qualifies and describes the noun. Ar-Rahman here is not intended as a qualification of Allah, rather it's intended as a substitute for Allah, and the same for Ar-Rahim. But anyway, coming back to our lesson, الاسم يكون مجرورا إما بحرف الجر أو بسبقه بحرف الجر كبسم الله، أو يكون مجرورا بالإضافة عندما يكون مضافا إليه. That it becomes مجرور by الإضافة when it's the مضاف إليه. Or it becomes مجرورا or يكون مجرورا إذا كان تابعا للمجرور. That it is مجرور if it is a follower of مجرور. And remember, it can be a follower by being badal or being صفة or being excuse me معطوف or being توكيد. And this is the states of jar, or the states in which a word becomes majroor. Is there any question about when an ism becomes majroor? I'll take that as a no, and I'll stop this lesson here, inshallah.